so physically, do you recommend we do this once a year to maintain a healthy balance of, it's kind of that good bacteria. We need the bad bacteria too. We need the parasites, which are, air quotes, bad, but it becomes really harmful when there's an overabundance in it and dysbiosis, like an imbalance of them.
Exactly. And I like once a year is pretty standard. If you look at different cultures, Filipino, Thailand, South American, Latino cultures, they're doing parasite cleansing. They think it's crazy. I've talked to some people from different countries and they're like, Americans don't cleanse parasites. Like we do that once a year. Like, how do you guys not cleanse parasites? And like, I know I'm a practitioner. It wasn't even on my radar. I know, I hear you. You're right.
Yeah.
So once a year feels good and right to me. And the body is in generally two states of existence. We have building states, regenerative, and then cleansing, breaking down, removing what doesn't serve. So I like the idea of once or twice a year doing a parasite cleanse, a gentle one, with herbs, and then building the gut after that. So there are certain products in the parasite cleanse that do wipe out a lot of different strains of bacteria, like that berberine, the thorn berberine. That's very strong. That's a very strong antimicrobial. So we are wiping out some of those colonies. There's going to be empty space in the intestinal epithelial tissue. So after we're done parasite cleansing, that's when you come in with like fulvic acid, herbs, a lot of sauerkraut, raw plain yogurts, and just build it back up. Then there's no room and space for parasites to come in and latch in, or for the bad bacteria to become virulent. Keeps the body like really strong. And I feel like that's what it means to be in, when people are say like, go back to nature, that's what it means. Like be in alignment with nature.
Yeah. It's almost like seasonal, cyclical, like the winter, like removing the parasites and then planting, the new,
Oh,
seeds,
I love
right?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Like a garden, literally like a garden, like we're tilling our internal garden with seeds and planting and growing and then wiping out and burning, like farmers burn crops too in different seasons. I love that analogy. I'm going to use that with my clients now.
So I've gotten, for many years, like have done colonics and colon hydrotherapy just for kind of that maintenance thing, right? Just kind of a flush and hydration and to get back up into those folds and just to clean out the stuck stuff, the stagnant stuck stuff that's in the walls. But what I learned was, because the things that were coming out of me in the colonics during the parasite cleanse were things I'd never seen before. And my colon hydrotherapist was like, whoa, like, and she does a whole prep thing. She doesn't just go in there and, go right into the colonic. She's like a full healer, energetic healer. So she does sound, bowls, she's channeling, she has all these like energetic things to prep and clear the vessel, so that it's easier to cleanse.
Beautiful.
So it's really cool, multidimensional. But what I learned was you kind of need the herbs to kill the parasites and worms so that their sacs and their mouths like detach from you, because in a normal colonic they're still attached, so they're not going to be flushed out with the fills and releases. So like go into that a little bit, why the herbs are so important to kill and flush.
Okay, I love this question because this gets into this talk like grounding in the science and then going to the woo. This is the science part. So there are 5 or 6 products in the kit and they have different functions, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. So parasites make this thing called biofilm, and they generate as this fibrogenic, that's fibrogenous, whatever that word is, that's fiber, like made up of fiber, kind of gooey, meshy. You have to look at pictures of it to understand what it is, but it literally looks like alien goo. So they build this thing around them. And what that does is that the immune system can't go in and utilize the white blood cells to break down and attack the parasites. So they defend themselves in a little pocket. He makes the human body impotent to get them out. And they also latch in with their teeth. So that in a good parasite cleanse, we're not just using kill agents, because you might get some, but like you said, and your colonic hydrotherapist is brilliant to know this, because most kits will just have like wormwood and black walnut And those are very strong antimicrobials, antiparasitics, but they're not breaking down the defenses. So what we have to break down biofilm or proteolytic enzymes. So the enzymes will do that, and the berberine will do that. And that starts the enzyme specific. When taken on an empty stomach, they'll go in and they'll start to eat away at inflammation and things in the body that don't belong. So natto enzyme and nattokinase and serrapeptase are the main enzymes that will eat up biofilm anywhere in the body, not just around parasites. And then we have Mimosa pudica, which is Celcor para 1, and Mimosa pudica paralyzes the parasites, so it puts them to sleep. So their little barriers are broken down, and then they get put into a coma. Then the kill agents come in and they can do their work. It makes it really effective.
Wow. And so when I've kind of mentioned this to someone, and a couple of people were like, oh, well, I just got my colonoscopy and all those, like, you know, pharma agents that clear you out the night before you do your colonoscopy. I was like, it feels very surface just on the thing. Like they're not going back up where the parasites live in the biofilm. Like, does that, you know, how like that astringent colon clearing, you know, agents, whatever they give you before the colonoscopy, is that clearing out parasites and biofilm, or that doesn't do the trick?
It might, but parasites are the master stealth agents. Like they won't even, I've never, in every single microbiome lab stool sample that I've run on a client, never once has a parasite come back positive. Like they are the masters of maneuvering and hiding, and they'll see something going in and they'll sneak away here. They'll move into the blood. Like they are so tricky to catch.
Wow.
So I'll have to learn exactly what the substances that they're using in that procedure and see what it's doing. But my guess would be probably not.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so many places and folds and you know, to
Mhm.
hide in the colon walls,
Mhm.
intestinal walls. Liver, how does that play into it? Because I know that liver flukes were something that, you know, again, I didn't do the deep dive dissection. I was interested, but I just didn't really have the time or capacity to like put the poop on the counter.
Not today.
But apparently your Facebook group does and takes photos. So, and they found liver flukes. So tell me about the wide range of things that have come out that you've seen people remove through this cleanse, and you know, how it affects the liver and our detox pathway.
Okay, really good question. So there are, I think, about 10,000 species of liver flukes, and these are parasites that burrow specifically into the liver. I work closely with a lot of microbiologists through one of the industry standard gut testing companies, labs. Microbiome is their name. And I take consult from them, and they're always saying like, those Facebook groups, we have a bunch of non-microbiologists trying to diagnose parasites. And I'm like, I know, we're just guessing, but like, you know, you can look at pictures on Google and I can ask you guys. And she's like, the only way to really know is to send it off to a lab. Absolutely fair. I'll humble myself before that. That said, there are bizarre, like corn looking type things. They look like grape skin type things that come out of the liver. And if you do look at pictures online of, you know, scientific examples of those flukes, it's like, it's pretty eerie how close they look. If they're not liver flukes, and it is a fact that parasites come out of the liver. So that's a thing. Whether or not the things being passed are actually liver flukes, nothing's ever been sent to a lab is what I'm saying. But if it's not liver flukes, it is very, very possible. Liver stores a lot of fat. So when you get the body cleansing and moving, like my cleanse comes with ways to open the drainage pathways. So people are doing castor oil packs with this parasite cleanse, taking milk thistle seed, opening the liver. And it's very likely that if it's not a liver fluke, there's just fatty deposit. In Chinese medicine, it would be called damp stagnation coming out of the liver. And it looks like big chunks of earwax and very interchangeable with liver flukes. Yeah, it's not fun. I know.
But either way, whatever, in our non-scientific laboratories of our bathrooms, like
Yes.
stuff that you don't want in you is coming out.
Exactly. At the end of the day, it's that, like, if these things are, the pictures are mind blowing. And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Like, I could send it off to a lab, but maybe I don't need to. And I can just rest assured that that is better out than in, and we'll call it a day and like move on, you know?
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Heal podcast. Be sure to tune in for more empowering wisdom and inspiring healing stories. Oh, and make sure you hit the follow button on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss that one episode that holds the answer you've been searching for. And if you feel inspired, we would love you to rate and review us so that we have the opportunity to reach more people. And of course, you can follow us on Instagram for some behind the scenes fun and more inspiration at @HealDocumentary and @KellyGorris. Thank you so much, and be well.